it's Karen from Liongate Farm, and with me today is Carolyn St. Clair of Swete Woolies, and we're going to introduce a new product for you that you're going to love to make the hands on your elf. It's called Hands On, and we will get started.
My name's Carolyn, and I love creating dolls. And when I first started felting, I made the worst hands possible. And I really want hands. I'll show you one of my dolls over here. I really want hands that show emotion and that are easy to felt, because I'm really good with breaking needles with all the wire that used to be in them when I made them at first. I'm clumsy that way. So I wanted a way to have lots of space to be able to make hands that I could move every single part of the hand and have expression, to add some features to the hand if I want to, and for strength, and also so they would be the same. Because that was another issue that I had, that I would have two different hands. So I developed a tool, and again, it's going to be called Hands On. But this tool gives you 5 different sizes of hands to fit different faces, because that's very important. You need the hand, and I used to make the tiniest hands possible just to get it out of the way. But it wasn't the right size hand for the face. So this tool gives you 5 different hand sizes. I've got some demonstrations of some that we made up here that go with different size dolls. So you can go all the way up from a huge Santa all the way down to a tiny little, I think that one goes here, this one goes here, we'll figure it out, and then the tiniest hand there. So you can make tiny little fairies all the way up to a huge Santa, a 2-foot tall Santa.
Which I usually make the tiniest hands.
Yeah, but
Except for this guy.
Yeah, what we figured out though is with your guy, when you look at your hand with your own face, what the size of your hand is with your face, and you kind of see that your middle finger should aim
He's
about
a little
the
short.
temple area or even your hairline. For me, it's kind of the middle of my forehead, my temple. So the hands that I made, and these are adult size hands, not kitty hands, because their proportions are different with their faces. So I made the hands so you could just about do it. You could measure for the size of the hand for the size of the face you made.
Didn't one of those samples?
Yes, this one.
Yeah, hers are bigger than mine.
Yeah. So that size hand, sort of resting on the chin there, pretty much fits. And doesn't have to be perfect, but it gives you a much better sense of the hand to the face ratio. So you have a more realistic. And even with this small hand, you can still add the thumb pad, you could add knuckles, you can add lots of expression with it, you can bend everything, and it's easy to attach. We'll show you how to attach later. But I make 2 of these every time, they come out the same. So that's why I want to do that, because I know hands are tough for people. There's lots of frustration with hands.
That's why we waited so long to do his hands, because we've been working on this.
We have. So let's start out a little bit with what you need. This is the Hands On Scratch Creator, and there's little pin marks that we put in pins all the way around the different size hands, and then you weave wire around that, and we'll show you how to do that. But this gives you the option. So you need
the pins
wire.
go in the holes.
The pins go in all the holes. And then after you have done that, after all the pins have gone in, and depending on the size of the hand, they'll go in all the way. So we'll be doing this, and I won't go ahead and put them all in right now, because that'll take quite a while. But I will show you this hand right here is what comes out of putting the pins all the way around and then wrapping the wire around each single pin. And Karen, when you do your size, maybe you can, because you'll need to do that, I put all the pins in, maybe work on that.
Here, I will work on.
Okay.
I'm using the original hand-drawn one, you guys. So, this was the rough cut.
Yeah. And the size of the wire, I like to use floral taped covered wire, paper covered wire, because the wool will stick to that. And with the large size hands, you could even go up to a size 22 wire. I have lots of different options here. A 24 works really well for most of the sizes except the really tiny. A 26 wire, floral wire, will work for all of the hands. And for the tiny hands, they go down to a 3/4 inch. There's a 1.5, 2 1/4, 2.5, and 3 1/4. For the tiny ones, the 3 1/4 and the 1.5, this is a 32 gauge wire, and that would work really well. That would still give you some strength. Your fingers would move whatever you wanted. That will work for that. So that is the wire that you need.
About it.
And then floral tape. And the reason you need the tape is for some of the hands, you need to put 2 pieces of wire together. For the small, the 3/4 and the 1.5, the length of wire in total that you need is 14 inches. And most wire either comes in bundles of 12 to 14 or even up to 18 inches, or it comes on a spool. You've got some on a spool over there,
I have a
don't you?
spool.
Yeah.
I have a spool.
So it comes in different ways. So you need to wrap, if you're going the larger fingers, for instance, for the 2 3 1/4, I need 2 14-inch pieces of wire. And what I do is, I'm going to pretend, I've only got one of my big pieces of wire here. There it is. I got it.
See, here I am starting.
Yeah.
I better wait. All right. So I have all my pins in.
Yeah.
Here. So these are Carolyn's hand-drawn ones. These are the ones that she's used forever and ever and ever. But we made them look like real hands.
Made it look better. Yeah.
And I'm using it off a roll. So you're just going to go in and out of the pins. Oops, I missed a pin. Hold on. So what Carolyn hasn't told you yet is these are going to be for sale very soon.
Yes, very excited about that.
We're waiting. So I went in here. I'm going out here. She's going to show you on the real one here. But meanwhile, while she's prepping hers. So you have to go around this pin. It is a little finicky. Sometimes below on the smaller hands, if you put the pins in as you go.
And I usually start with the middle finger, sort of bend the wire in half if you've got a strip of wire that you're using, so that you know you have length at the end. And the reason we want length at the end, and I will show you right here.
See, and I didn't do that because I'm using a roll.
So you know.
No, so I started and I'm just, I'm going.
So if I use the middle finger here, and then I have my 2 even long pieces at the end, I know, and I'll show you how I do it, but this is where I wrap with my doll's armature. I can attach it right there at the loop, and I'll show you how to do that when we get to that point. But that's why I start with the middle finger, because I don't have a roll. I always use pieces of wire, so that way I know it's even at the ends. The other things you need, if you need to cut wire, is a little wire cutter, a ruler, which I always keep with me, and scissors if you need to cut your tape, although you can tear your tape. The nice thing about the floral tape, when you put it on the wire, I just wrap 2 pieces together so I get the right length for my big hand that I know I'm going to use, is with the warmth of your fingers, it'll stick to your wire. So that's always good to know. So if you watch Karen a little bit, I am going to go ahead and put all my pins in so that I can start wrapping my wire around here.
So normally you would make 2 hands before taking your pins out, but I'm rushing it here.
You can. And that's what makes it so nice, is
you just make both hands and then you have both exactly the same
size.
And I'm going to have to take some pins out to get them off. All right.
Okay.
So I have 1 hand. I know it doesn't look like much. And here's where you can shape them.
Yes, there's lots of flexibility.
You can
with
shape
the fingers.
your fingers how you want them. I like my fingers skinnier, so I like to squeeze them together. And you can even twist them if you want them super skinny.
And we discovered with the tiny size here, the 3/4 of an inch, if you're making like mice, this would work really well, especially if you twisted it to make mice paws. So that would work.
And you're going to twist it like this.
Yeah.
So you twist the tiny one this way. We don't want to show you every hand. We want to show you some hands. So this is how I would do my hand normally. Remember, your hand is wide down here. You got to think about your own hands when you're doing this.
I look at my hand all the time when I'm trying to figure something out. Why is it maybe off a little bit? I look at the shape of my own hand just to help me. And you can adjust the guide once you've made it all the way through the process. And even when you have the wool on, you can adjust the wool.
I'm going to make one more.
Okay, go for it. So it makes it so much easier to be able to adjust, because I know the first hand I tried, it was like once you had it, it was done and you couldn't do anything more to it. Or all the wires, because I used to start with 5 sausages that I'd have all these wires down the middle of my hand. And then it was so hard for me to be able to felt round everything. And I'd have skinny bits on the fingers and I'd put glue on it, and oh my goodness.
And your wires sticking out.
And you've got 5 huge wires here, and you've got a lumpy wrist. So, and then the fingers would slip and be different lengths after I put them in. Yeah, my first few were pretty darn ugly. So I used to hide hands. I used to do all kinds of different ways to hide hands. They'd be holding something.
And we know people just don't do their hands because they're afraid to.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that this will make it easier for you.
And it's not like you can make a hand in 5 minutes, but you'll have a good hand every time. That's the most important part. So I wrap my 2 pieces together. I'm now going to bend it in half so that I have the middle, and that goes around my middle finger. And that way, and I use the very heaviest wire for this finger. For this size hand, I could definitely use down to like a 24-inch wire. This is the first time with this new one that I've tried this big wire, so we'll see how it goes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You guys, Carolyn used to have this made on cardboard.
Yeah, for
Just
years.
so you know. And it was like the same piece of cardboard, and it has a million holes in it. And I'm like, we need to make that out of balsa wood. Okay, so I got my second hand here.
All right.
So normally you would make both hands at the same time. So then you just take your pins out to get them off, unlike what I did earlier. So Carolyn's making a hand while I'm taking my pins out.
All right, there we go. Half of it done.
Yeah, and meanwhile, John's out chasing some sheep that have gone to the neighbor's house.
They must have something delectable in that barn.
No, she just takes her lambs away. I think I know how we can fix this, but all right. So here's my second one.
Now with this bigger hand, you can see I'm using my fingers just to bring things round, and I'm alternating some of the time just to hold it in place. That pin came out, but I can still shape it there. And then I can bring it there. And then I want to kind of get the definition of the wrist right there, so I'm bending it the other side of the wire. And then I can just lift it off. What I also do with my wrist when I start is I twist, and I'll open it up at the end, but this way it kind of keeps things together. So when I'm making my hand, come around there, it will stay in place. So I'll look at my hand and I'll look and say, okay, I want it a bit wider there. I tend to like bigger fingers. So I won't move things, although I can see that needs to be straightened a bit. But I'll work.
And I like skinny fingers.
So I'll work a little bit on the shape of, but this gives me the ability to do that. And also, if I wanted to, I could again, if you squeeze it real long, you could do alien fingers. You could do all kinds of things with this, once you get comfortable doing it. So I'm going to move my guide out of the way. All right, so we'll get started on making a hand. And one thing that's really important, especially if you add features, is to make sure you're thinking right and left hand, think thumbs up. Because you'll only ever make that mistake once, but putting two left hands on a doll is really frustrating. You've got to take everything apart again to sort it out. Wool, what I use, having sort of coarse wool that comes either from a bat or what are you're using roving there?
I'm using the Liongate Farm skin tone, which is different than what she's using.
Yes,
mine's roving.
I've been using a bat. It's a type of wool called Berkshire, but any type of wool that has a coarse feature to it will work really well. I wouldn't necessarily recommend using straight merino unless you're really a pro with using merino. So what I do, I leave it. The important thing is less is more. Okay, don't think that you're going to wrap it in one go and you need thick wool, and that's I think especially when I first started felting in general, I always did that. But less is more. You can see it's very fine. And I'm going to leave a tail before I start wrapping my first finger because that starts to build up the hand when we get to that part, the palm of the hand. And then it's just a matter of wrapping the finger. And you can wrap as tight or as loose as you want depending on your finger size. I'm just going to, and keep your wool nice and flat. That's important.
You know the flat when you wrap.
Flat when you wrap. Oh, I like that.
Flat when you wrap.
Okay. And I always go beyond the finger, and then I sort of bend back the little bit that I've got there, and then wrap back down the finger. Just like that. And the other thing that happens sometimes, and I can see it's going to happen here. Oh, I got it. Is your finger can get a little thinner when you get to the base. So just look at your finger. Does it look like it's going to work? That looks like it's going to be nice and even. So I'm going to hold that and I'm going to start felting. And because I have no wire right in the middle, I can really tap that down well. I can shape the end of the finger. And I squeeze from one side to the other with my wool. And that way, it gets it nice and firm. How you doing over there?
I'm fine. I did the middle finger first.
Okay.
I did the middle finger. Remember, you guys, this is only the second time I've ever used this tool.
Yes. And she did great with that. We actually had someone who'd never made a hand before.
Ever in their life.
Made one last week. She made a pair for her doll. And
well, actually, she made hands first.
She made the hands in the doll. And then decided
she was going to make the doll.
And she did great. And they were tiny hands.
She did the littlest one. No.
She did the second to the littlest,
She did this one.
Yes. Yeah.
She did that one.
So that was great. I love that. So you can always move your finger out of the way a little bit so you can start wrapping your next one. Make sure it's straight. All right, and off we go. Leave that little bit of a tail. And then flat wrap flat.
Flat. Wrap flat. Flat wrap.
Close. All right. And then go all the way to the top. Go just beyond.
You guys, we had so many different ideas for names for this, but a lot of them were very inappropriate.
Yes, it wasn't. It was, we had fun.
We can't even talk about some of them.
No, we can't.
But we finally, hand creator is what it was going to be, but then we decided, no, it needs to be hands-on because we're putting hands on.
Yeah.
Right? You're putting hands on your creations. And this will work for all kinds of things.
Yeah. And there will be instruction sheets that come with this, so have no fear.
It comes with pins.
It does.
And it comes with the
guide.
hands-on, and it comes with a guide. It does not come with wire, so you'll need to obtain your wire, and you guys all know Amazon's our friend.
Yes.
When it comes to floral wire.
Now, as you saw, I ended a little bit early on this one, but it's very easy just to pick it up and just put one more wrap in there. I just want to put one. Tear off my piece of wool and go there. And we're thinking it's going to be available in September. We just need to get the order in.
So I will put a pre-order on my website, and then Carolyn will have it on her website, hopefully soon.
Yes, I'm talking to my guy tomorrow, so we're going to get it all organized. And I think that's going to be 2 fingers that look pretty good. I want to make sure the ends match, so I'm just going to go in a bit more around that edge. And then also the nice thing about wool, you can smooth out any really large needle marks in the wool.
Yeah, and then, you know, when we're done, we're jumping way ahead. You can power wax them, you can eau de coat them.
Yeah.
To smooth out all the little fibers, or you can trim them.
Or sometimes I'll use a bit of the spray starch, or half and half Eileen's fabric stiffener. I wouldn't do it more than half and half, for the reason that it potentially could change color so that it will no longer match your doll's face.
Yeah, you don't want to change the color of your hands.
I've done that, and all of a sudden I have pasty-looking hands, and my doll's face is ruddy, and it's like, I look like I've got a dead hand on a doll. It's like, that's not pretty. So
hey, she's making Cannon laugh.
No dead hands. So
well, maybe on the witch. You should see the witch she's making right now.
Yes. Yeah, she's kind of glamorous.
She's sitting here in her underwear.
She is. Well, I decided I better put underwear on her, so before I brought her for a demonstration. But normally my dolls don't look as glamorous as this witch does.
She's very glamorous.
She is, but she
has big feet, though.
She has massive feet. But I tend to do big feet on my dolls. I specialize in older people, and as we grow, anyone that's of the kind of same age range knows that our feet seem to be bigger, and we wear orthopedic shoes sometimes. So I kind of started that way. But also by the time I'm done with all the clothes on her, she will be quite a lot larger. And so I think that the feet just do just fine for her.
Yeah, you guys got me thinking about a witch.
You gonna do a witch?
With a raven feather cloak.
I think that's a really cool idea. I want to do this one. I'm doing all in wool. I tend to normally do a bit of wool and also sewing. All right, on this finger, can you see that it's thinner right there, right at the base? So I'm going to add some more wool. I normally sew clothes, like if you can see my girl here, I sewed a lot of her clothes, but this one I'm going to do all wool.
I do multimedia as well.
And I'm not going to have raven coat cloak. Sounds really, really cool. You do the best.
I don't know. Do you know how many feathers that would be, though?
That'd be a lot of. But small ones.
Well, it depends. If I make her as big as the elf.
Oh, you're thinking, okay.
I don't know.
I'm thinking, we'll see, because animals are not my forte as much. I really struggle with animals.
You guys, you have no idea. She's been struggling with the dog all day.
I've been whining with about a dog all day. But I want to do a dragon. I want to do a baby dragon. So as far as I've got is I bought eyes. I bought some glass eyes for my dragon. It's as far as I've gotten on that.
So don't you guys do this? You can tell us in the comments. Don't you have all these ideas? And you start thinking about them, and they don't come to. This is what happens to me: is I'll think about it for like 6 months. It's like, yeah, I really want to do that. No, not today. Yeah, I really want to do that. No, not today. And then all of a sudden, I have to do it. I have to do it.
Yeah, it just grips you. Yep. That 3 a.m. Is it 3 a.m. for you? That's what it is for me.
Well, I'm awake at 3 a.m.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I wasn't today though, because I think because of my 80-acre hike.
That'll do it.
My sheep, my silly sheep.
Poor sheep.
Is this a race?
No,
guys, remember when doing hands, she's way better at this because this is her idea. Remember when doing hands, it isn't a race.
No.
So take your time.
100%.
And go along and wrap. And you know what? It's okay to unwrap. It's okay to unwrap.
Absolutely.
And do it again.
Do it again or add. It's not the end of the world.
From what we can see, this makes, and seriously, it makes hands easy for me. I haven't struggled with hands. I've just done it differently. Do I like doing hands? No. But this makes it much more easy, much more pleasurable.
I just figured a long time ago, I really like the emotion that hands can give you. So that's why. And it was hard to have emotion with fingers that looked like they belonged on, Quasimodo. It just wasn't working for me.
My thumb is coming out way too fat.
Is it?
That's my thumb.
Ah. So maybe take a bit off, or?
I don't know yet. No, I think I gotta
You
squeeze
think you
the
can
wire.
squeeze the wire and do it
Yeah.
that way? Okay.
So you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm working next to Carolyn. You can just hear me.
Yes.
I needed the pro to show you how to do this. Because she taught me. I did my first ones last week, which are on the elf. So this is, Kenan, what
Part 5.
we're on part 5. So this is part 5 of the elf, but it's really the hands-on demonstration. So we will have the elf holding the template in the picture.
Sure.
Yeah, like it'll be funny. And we got a little further on the elf while we're sitting here. See, look, he has a face now, so we'll do that next time. His face and his hair, and he'll pretty much be done. I bet you guys are excited to move on to new projects.
Yeah, and thank you for patiently waiting, because I know we've been waiting on the hand piece for quite a while. And I've seen some of those comments, like, come on, Karen, we're ready to go.
I know. Carolyn knows who you guys are.
I do. I read those comments. Yeah. So there we go. I've got my thumb on. But as you can see, I'm going to be filling in the wire along the edge of the hand.
That's what I'm doing right now. This actually goes faster than you think it would.
Yeah.
Way faster than any other hand I've tried.
Although I am going to say that, once you've got the basics on, I sometimes spend a lot of time building up the hand and the features to the hand because I like to do that. Although Karen is always getting on my case about adding knuckles.
Her hands
Yeah.
are flat. See,
Well-
they're they're
Now,
flat.
come on. Let me put my hands on my doll's ear. She does not have flat hands. Come on. Jazz hands all the way.
You guys,
Yeah.
so Carolyn comes to Meetup Monday a lot, and the one cool thing about Meetup Monday is we can tell each other what we think about what they're making, and nobody
100%.
gets mad because it's always useful. It's always useful to have somebody else critique your pieces.
And also everybody has different expertise, so that makes it super nice.
And then, Janice is eyeball lady. She can do eyeballs like no tomorrow. But, you just got to be honest with each other about what you think about what it looks like. All right, my thumb is too fat, so I'm squeezing it.
Give it a good squish.
And now I got to felt it some more.
Okay. I'm noticing that I'm seeing some air on my little finger, so I'm going to add a tad more on there. And then I'll start making sure it's straight. Do I like the size of it? Where do I want to change it a little bit? And see, I can adjust the wire. Even if I've got the wool all the way on, I can adjust the wire a little bit. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit, just tiny bit.
I really
right
like
there.
that you can felt up the fingers.
Yeah.
Because there's that space in there.
Yeah,
So as you're felting your first hand, it's going to morph into either left or right.
Yeah.
So just know that your first hand will tell you what your second hand needs to be, left or right.
And then you can felt a little bit between the fingers. Sometimes you have to add some more wool. And we'll build that up as we go with the palm. But you can move the fingers apart and do that. Get that in there. Yeah, I like that pretty well. Looks nice and straight. There's a nice gap right there. I'm going to tap down. I'm going to leave a tiny bit of wool to go over the wrist. And I'll show you why when we attach a hand.
I'm like looking at yours going, it's so much bigger than mine. Oh yeah, you did the bigger one.
I did the biggie. Yeah. And I do recommend initially maybe is making your doll's face first before you make your hands, just so you know for sure that it's going to be the right size hand. I think that's very helpful. I kind of know the size of my doll's faces now, so I kind of I know what size template I'm going to use. I don't make little. I was never very good at making little. So.
And Carolyn created templates in with the hands-on creator that will show you basically if the face is this big, you need to use this size.
Yes.
So that should help you.
And you can also just use a ruler and measure, kind of get a sense of the size of your face that you do, like on this doll right here. I can measure her face a little bit to give me a sense that I'm kind of looking at 4 inches, 4.5 inches. So when I look at my hand here, by the time I've got wool on it and I've built up the wrist and my palm, it'll be the right size for her. It'll do well.
Yeah, and you want the size of the face after it has wool on it.
Yes. Okay, I'm filling in the side there. You can see I've got the gap that had wire in between the thumb and the index finger.
This hand
How you doing?
is coming out way better than my first one did.
Well, it's just practice. It takes a time or two.
See, you guys, I'm new at something.
Yeah. I'm always amazed because I'm kind of a one-trick pony on what I make for the most part, and I love doing it. But I come down here and see everything that's Karen's made. It just blows me apart. And then how she figures out how to make something new so that it's easy for people to be able to do it.
Well, this is going to make people have easy. Look at what you did. You made it easy for hands.
Yeah. I'm happy to do that for people because I know how miserable I used to get at the thought of making hands.
We should have had Canon try and make one.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That would have been the ultimate test.
Yeah, have
right,
case
Canon?
of Band-Aids maybe, the side.
Hey, neither one of us have stabbed ourselves.
We haven't, and I haven't broken a needle yet. That's really good. I always am so envious of people who say, "Oh, I break maybe 1 needle a year." Gosh, I wish that was
I've
me.
never broken a needle.
I don't understand that. I'm
lying.
the queen of breaking needles. Yeah.
Well, wait a minute, Canon. Haven't I really only broken one while we've been filming?
Yeah, just one
Just
that I remember.
one.
I'm so impressed.
While we're filming.
Oh.
Have I stabbed myself? Yeah, we've had to pause so that the blood cannot be
The blood
seen.
could be, yeah.
It's like, whoops. Ow. It's hard not to say ow.
Yes.
During meetup, you always know when somebody has stabbed themselves. Meetup was great today. Oh my gosh, best
Food.
taquitos
Ooh.
ever.
They were amazing.
Kennan's taking the leftovers.
Oh, you will love them.
Better than your favorite Mexican restaurant. Better than those.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Oh, I already know. Remember, I tried them there. Did not like them.
Oh yeah, from that spot I recommended?
Yeah.
Dang it. That was a bad day for them.
Well, no, the taquitos need to be skinny. They gave me like flautas, the fat things. It was too much.
Now, Mondays are always great for food.
It's Eat Up Monday.
We get a theme and we all bring something, or Karen does some experimenting. And
You're my test subject.
yeah, always appreciated though. Yeah.
We're test subjects on this.
Yes.
Okay, mine is coming along.
Good. I'm just wrapping the sides of my hands. I'm going to do some more cleanup under I think where the fingers join in.
So it's best, although not necessary, to work on the hand while it is not on your doll.
Yeah, easier to manipulate.
It's far easier to do. Yeah, this hand is way better than the first two I made.
Oh, good.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
It's way better. It's still kind of flat, though.
You can add as much to make your hand as puffy as you want.
I know I can add knuckles.
Add those knuckles. I actually had a thought the other day how to add knuckles easily. I haven't tried it yet, but I had a thought.
Okay.
I thought if I did an extra wrap around the base of the finger here.
Uh-oh, John's back.
And then, sheep report. And then manipulated by felting towards the hand here, you could push that extra roll and put it there. And then I need to try it. I was going to try it before we did this, and it didn't happen because I'm not a knuckle person. But
Well, you don't have to have them. I mean, this looks fine.
Yeah.
This, I mean, I could actually put this on and be okay with
Yeah.
it. It needs to be smoother.
Bit smoother, and you could put a little bit of a at the base of your thumb there.
I put some, but I haven't put.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm working with different wool than you are.
Yeah.
So the Lion Gate Farm skin tone is a merino base, so it's not as chunky as what Carolyn's using that you can see.
There's lots of different. This works very well. I did, and I'm not used to working with Karen's wool because I've
She
been
has
my own stuff. I have
She
a
has a
plentiful
plentiful
supply.
stash herself.
But this is. I actually really liked how that came out. This is with Karen's wool.
Yeah, it finishes nicely.
It finishes. It's very smooth, and see, even with this size, I added a little bit of the base of the thumb there, and also on the other side. And the wrist is coming down nicely. You can bend all the fingers many ways. So it really did felt well. So I really like you all for that. It works great.
It's a good color. It's not her skin tone.
Mine is a
Because she's doing
different color.
older people
Yeah.
that are pasty.
Oh God. You know, I may or may not come down next Monday. I'm just saying. You know,
Well, older people are pasty.
they are, but I usually have pink cheeks.
Yeah, I know. I'm just teasing.
I know you.
No, seriously, the skin tone that she likes is darker than the skin tone I like.
Different boats for different folks, but we do just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what you get used to too, and that's why you don't have to have anything specific. You can use what works for you, what you're used to working with.
You know, you can even just do it in core wool and color them with alcohol markers. You know,
yes, you could.
it's pretty crazy, those alcohol markers, how they work on wool.
This I did with the you can. It's faded a bit because it's been running around in my basket.
Fingernails.
But we did fingernails, and we added. I don't know if you can see it, but we did add a tiny bit of the alcohol markers on there.
Yeah, we did.
So-
We did fingernails with the alcohol
Yeah.
markers to test
and
it
on
out.
tiny little fingers. So you definitely can do that, or you can use wool.
Nah.
Yeah, but
Let's
this is
work
a
smarter, not
much
harder.
easier way to do it.
Yeah, the alcohol markers are way cool.
Yeah, they worked really well.
I would apply them though after your Power Tex, Power Wax, or your Eau de Coat, or whatever. After your stiffener, I would apply them after the stiffener. I'm almost ready to put this on.
Okay, and you don't necessarily have to use stiffener. That's not an absolute done deal that you have
Well,
to.
I don't
to
like
use
hairy
it.
hands.
Well, I don't like hairy knuckles, but you know.
So what I just did was untwist my hand.
All right, and I haven't put the base under my thumb yet. But
See,
I
Canon
will
has a
show.
time limit, so we're kind of going
Yeah,
fast.
we're going fast. So I am going to.
We're blaming it on Canon. Yes, we are. He's going to cut that out.
Okay.
All right.
So
Let's
there's
go.
the start of a shape of my hand. And again, I would add more features normally. That looks really good. I would do a little tiny bit, you know, when you're pinching in to get your wrist so that you have a thinner wrist.
Okay.
So I'm going
Well,
to.
he doesn't really have a thin wrist. Well, maybe he does. Okay.
So I'm going to untwist this. Come on, where are you? I've got a little bit of wool there.
Do you want to?
I got it.
Okay.
Now I can see it. I did a couple of big.
Oh,
twists.
I see what you're saying. That made sense. Okay.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay. So we are moving a little fast here today, but here we go with the doll. All right, I've untwisted my wire. I'm going to say this is my right hand. Normally I would add features to this. We're not going to do that right now because of time limits. What I've done with my hand here is that I've made a loop. And the important thing too is, where does your hand fall? If you put your hand at your side right now, you'll see it falls just kind of at your hip. So with my doll, I've made sure that my hand is there, that it's going to be lying there. So the wrist is going to, the base of my wrist is going to be right there. So I thread one piece through. I put the loop all the way up into my hand like that. And then I'm going to twist this around and get that one wired on.
Mine won't go into my hand. Oh, I must not have enough fiber.
Oh.
That's okay.
So I've got that on.
What'd you do with the other wire?
And then we're going to do, hang on, let me get this. I'm going to the other wire. I don't go through the loop.
You're wrapping it super tight?
And then, yeah, I wrap it super tight. And then I pull again because I want that loop to be right in the base there of my hand.
That's where mine ended up.
And then I pull that on the outside and I keep it tense, pull it up. And this is why I measure the wire so that you have enough. You don't need as much as this. This is a lot of extra wire.
I had a lot.
But so that you can get enough wire on there so you've got enough tension and you've got enough oomph to hold your hand on. So that's why I do that.
All right.
And then, so we got that. So the other thing I'm going to do is add a tiny bit of floral tape right there so you're covering your sharp end. And there is your hand on there. And then we start building the wrist. And I promise you, you'll get a nice flat wrist with this method, which is great.
As opposed to a round wrist.
Round wrist, yeah.
So you just tape over all your floral wire?
You don't need to because it'll grip to the floral wire. Mostly I want to get that sharp end. Right there. Squeeze it in a bit. Okay, that'll do it. And then with floral wire, I like to stretch and then the warmth of my fingers will hold it. Okay, so there is my hand on. And I can continue working on my hand. I want to give it some more character and add the wrist on.
We just wanted to make you,
But we just wanted to show you how to do it.
Get your hands on there. And so if you're going to finish the elf, you're going to keep going up his wrists up. Now this is where you're going to add fiber.
I'm just going to tap that down a little bit. It's still easy to work with on your board, on your felting surface. I'm just going to start by tapping down my wool down here to the sides of my wrist. And also, it's a good way to start shaping the base of your hand so you don't end up with this long sort of flat thing going on here. You don't want that. You want your hand, you know, you can look at your hand and see how your finger and your thumb joins into your wrist. Work on getting that part flat. This part actually takes a while because you want a really nice, strong connection. It isn't just a one and done. You really want to build on this to felt from many directions so that you have a really nice connection because you've got this loop right here. So you want to build that up a bit and for it to be strong because you want that to hold your hand. You don't want it to be loose.
You don't want floppy hands.
No one wants floppy hands. So
no floppy hands.
No floppy hands.
No T-Rex arms, no floppy
T-Rex
hands.
Yeah. And no flat hands.
And we want you to have a hand. You can have a flat hand if you want.
Well, I build them up. They're nice and rounded by the time I'm done. So there you go. There's your basic. And we'll add some wool going up the arm a little bit. And then I would start start adding more to the back of my hand and also add more characteristics.
She would actually do that. So
I do it first.
She would do that first.
Yeah.
And I probably would too, but we wanted to show you how to
the
get
whole
this on.
technique.
And
so,
oh yeah, I like this hand way better than my other ones.
It's going on better? Yay.
Well, his middle finger's longer. That guy's, I didn't get a long enough finger on that one.
So start wrapping and nice and tight. And then you'll add more wool here to blend so you don't have
so you
that
don't have
crease.
any funky little lines.
No funky lines.
Get rid of all the funky little lines.
Yeah. It's also important too, I strategize what kind of clothing you're going to use. Like if I'm doing nothing but felt, if I'm felting clothes directly onto my doll, I might put my hands on first because I'm felting the whole thing.
And we talked about this.
Okay.
Because there was no way a hand would go through these sleeves.
Right.
So that's why, so we,
And if you are...
comes right to his thigh. It's the right length.
Something that really helps is cutting a little piece of saran wrap or part of a baggie if you have to slide hands through. For instance, if I do a wet felted coat, they tend to be a little tighter than when I'm sewing. So I might, when I'm putting the hand through to try, I'll cover it with plastic to help protect it. And that helps. And it also helps make it slide too when you're slipping it through a tight sleeve.
Yep. That's a good idea.
And then the other thing I do is if I have a doll where I'm just going to put them totally on afterwards, like with this doll.
Whoops.
I'll come back and get you. With this sleeve here is I just push everything up and put the hand on.
Like I did on the elf.
Yeah. So you can do lots of different ways. All right, Witchy Poo, I'm so sorry. Pick you up. All right.
People are always worried about hurting things here in my shop, and it's like, you guys can't hurt anything. I mean, you literally would have to like flood it or burn it or...
All right, so add a bit more, and then we'll go up the arm. I just want to get that nice flat wrist.
See, and what with the elf, it doesn't really matter because his shirt's gonna come over it. I'm gonna put some ribbon around here.
And it's important to felt multiple directions to get everything to meld in well. Get all those little fibers doing
And
their
just
thing.
because you wrapped your fingers, you still need to felt them.
Oh, 100%.
Otherwise, they will fuzz off. They will definitely fuzz off. That is experience talking. Like, oh, I wrapped them. They look good.
The other thing it's important to do, and I didn't do it with this last piece, is make sure that there's no animal product or anything else in your fiber because it's going to show. So look at your piece of wool before you add it to make sure you don't have any hay seeds or untoward stuff in there.
Any vegetable matter.
Any vegetable matter, yeah. It's like on a face. You know it's going to come to the surface if you have anything in the piece of wool that you have.
Thanks for joining us today as we demoed the hands-on hand creator to help you make easier hands. And if you need supplies, you're going to head over to my website for skin tone, or if you need that hands-on creator, it'll be available for pre-order on the Liongate Farm website and
the Sweet Woolies website.
Right.
In September.
Okay?
Yeah.
So remember, like the video, follow us, and we'll see you next time. We're going to finish them.